What's up, folks? Ethan here. Welcome to a new, we'll say series, though we're just going to try it out as a video first, see how folks like it, called Fast Fridays, where we're going to join quick drafts and we're going to just edit the heck out of this thing, just give you the highlights of stuff, try and jam in a draft and all the games into a nice, tight, compact little video for you to end the week. So let's get right to it. All right off the bat, we have a pretty stinker of a pack as far as I can tell with Duskmourn. I like Glimmerburst, Growing Dread's fine, Dashing Bloodsucker fine. I think Waltz of Rage pretty good. I'm not going to hold on to this for dear life or anything, but I'm excited to have a little sweeper in best of one. Follow that up with Scorching Dragonfire pretty easily as a nice removal spell over a couple black cards that I like. And then already we got decision time here with Sheltered by Ghosts versus Under the Skin, and I guess shout out to Smoky Lounge. I'm going to take Under the Skin. I would just rather draft a little bit more of a controlling deck with some value with Waltz of Rage than I would like to take Sheltered by Ghosts, but could definitely see that being wrong. And now I think I'm going to take the Sawblade Skin Ripper. I like red-black a lot, and I think it's a good home for Waltz of Rage, so we'll take that here. And then follow that up with Popular Egotist, another sacrifice enabler here, and maybe wheel some of the one drops that we've seen. This pack, there's not much for us. I think we've got the option between a couple of lands, especially if we're thinking about splashing Under the Skin. But I think I'm going to start off with Terramorphic Expanse just for red-black. Here we've got Ticket Booth versus not very much else, so I think I'm just going to start with a sort of medium room here and put that in the deck. And a nice Final Vengeance pick 8. You love to see that, especially after picking up Ticket Booth. That'll be really good for this deck. Not much on the wheel, though this pack didn't have much to offer in the first place. I think I like Fanatic of the Harrowing. I really don't think Boiler Bilge's Ripper is good in red-black. And Fear of Lost Teeth wheeled, that's awesome, out of the pack where we took the Scorching Dragonfire. And Bedhead Beastie here is a land cycler. Friendly Teddy, sure, maybe we'll care about types. Fear of the Dark, sure. And Give Into Violence. All right, Valgavoth's Onslaught, we will be splashing, so Jund that is. Pack 2 is pretty unexciting here. I think we'll take Conductive Machete, maybe the Fear of Lost Teeth wheels, but I like the Machete as well. Pretty disappointing third pick here. I think we'll take Innocuous Rat over the Centipede, even though I think the Centipede's better. Keep green as the splash, and boom, baby, we get a Disturbing Mirth. That's awesome. Maybe wheel the Cemetery, but Mirth get in. And then a huge drop-off. That's about the 12th Miasma Demon we've seen. We'll take a Found Footage if we end up with some stuff that cares about Delirium. And one of my favorites here, Defiled Crypt, Cadaver Lab, but I don't think I'm going to take that over Percussionist or Gorge. And Intervention is a good card, and I like Hand That Feeds, but Percussionist has to be the card we take here. And now we've got Glimmerlight versus Ragged Playmate. Playmate I like a lot more when I'm in Boros, so I'm going to take Glimmerlight here. And a card I really like in these Rakdos decks is Derelict Attic, Widow's Walk. So we'll definitely snap that up here. Pick 8 is a great time to see that. Get a Winter's Intervention as a removal spell. Another Fear of Lost Teeth is awesome. Probably not playing anything here. We'll take the Cultist, put that in the board. Fear of the Dark, Veilmerk Leech, and Possessed Goat. All right, this is a pack. If this were sealed, I would scoop the whole thing up and be thrilled. As it stands, I'm going to take Roller Crusher Ride and hope that the Disturbing Mirth can wheel, but who knows what these bots are going to be up to. Here I'm going to take a Sporogenic Infection. I love where we're at with this sort of controlling shell that we found ourselves in. Pretty unexciting pick 3 again here. I'm just going to take Glimmerlight, number 2. And here we get to grab Withering Torment, which is a nice way to blow up enchantments in our deck. Yeah, snapping off a second Final Vengeance here. Thrilled to see that. And I'm going to take third Fear of Lost Teeth over second Innocuous Rat. And there's the second Innocuous Rat for us. And a second Derelict Attic. I was just thinking that we need a little bit more card advantage, so I'm thrilled to see that. And the Disturbing Mirth wheeled. Let's go. Okay, I just think we may not end up being able to splash the green here in this deck with only the one Evolving Wilds. We just didn't get the opportunity to see any other fixing. All right, here we go. This is the deck I'm going to run with to start. I'm actually shockingly going to end up cutting the Waltz of Rage, even though it's what started us on this journey. Our creature count is just kind of low, and our creatures are on the smaller side other than Bedhead Beastie, and a Resurrected Cultist, which I am going to side in, or I am going to start with as just a nice little 2-for-1 creature, and we have 3 pieces of equipment as well that it can wear. Gonna start with not splashing the green as much as it hurts my heart to not play the Valgavoth's Onslaught, but we'll see how it goes and adjust as we see fit. All right, we start off with a banger of a hand here, leading off with Percussionist on 1, Infection on 2 on our Percussionist to make them sack the Flesh Burrower, and then on turn 3, Disturbing Mirth, sack the Sporogenic Infection, follow up with Final Vengeance to exile their Cryptid Inspector. We manifest one of our Innocuous Rats. Turn 4, we decide to pump the brakes a little bit and not spew our last removal spell. We just play the Machete. They tap out for Fear of Exposure, and we attack in with our 4/3. They elect to take the 4. We just build out our board a little bit more with a Cultist and a Glimmerlight and pass back to them. On their turn, they decide to play Meat Locker, tapping down the Cultist for a couple turns and Cathartic partying away our Machete. We land an Egotist, Disturbing Mirth, sack our Percussionist, exile a mountain off of it, as well as drawing into Scorching Dragonfire, using that land drop to equip a Glimmerlight and pass back. Opponent taps out for Drown Diner to draw 3, discard 1, and play a Forest, and we land the finishing blows here by Final Vengeance on their 5/4, sacking the Disturbing Mirth, Scorching Dragonfire the Inspector, send him with the team, get him to 2, and they have seen enough. Game number 2, we've got a handful of removal and a Glimmerlight, lead off with a couple lands and a Glimmerlight into play. Our opponent does the same. We equip the Glimmerlight, get in for 2, crack a Terramorphic Expanse. They play an Unwilling Vessel, get in for 1. We draw Conductive Machete, get in for 2, play the Machete, hoping to trade off with the Vessel, revealing 2 more lands. They play Cracked Skull, taking out one of our Final Vengeances, move the light to the 4/3, get in for 1. Derelict Attic is the draw for turn. We play it and draw land and Fear of Lost Teeth. Move the Glimmerlight, get in for 5. They trade with the Vessel, get a 1/1. We play Fear of Lost Teeth. They move the Glimmerlight onto their flyer, attack in for 2, play Disturbing Mirth, sack their Glimmer, and draw 2. We draw and play Egotist for turn, move the Glimmerlight, attack in for 3. Floodpit's Drowner end of turn taps the Egotist. In response, we sack Fear of Lost Teeth to ping it so they can't bottom it, but they have Scorching Dragonfire to finish it off on their turn. Innocuous Rat the draw for turn. We unlock Widow's Walk, get in for a 2/1 Death Touch, play the Rat. They're still pecking in for 2 in the air. They have their own Egotist and an Intruding Soul Rager. We take out the Egotist, but not before they're able to sack Disturbing Mirth to get their manifest. We move a bunch of equipment onto the Rat and pass. We get the opportunity to trade with the Soul Rager, and we manifest Bedhead Beastie into play while they play a Fear of Infinity and move the Glimmerlight. Fear of Lost Teeth is our draw for turn. We unflip the Bedhead Beastie, get in for 6 Death Touch, hoping to race this lifelinking flyer in the air. We move the Glimmerlight, but they have vanished from sight to answer our Beastie, which we top, play our Skin Ripper, hold up Withering Torment, kill the 2/2 in response to their Locker Room being played so they can draw off their flyer hitting us. Then they unlock Bottomless Pool, bounce our Skin Ripper, our Menace Threat. And this is a punt here. I should be having Skin Ripper in play to sacrifice it, and I actually make a big punt here by conceding and forgetting that Fear of Lost Teeth is going to gain me a life and put me to 3, and so I could still survive by playing the Beastie and blocking whatever they equip the Glimmerlight to. So 1 on the oopsie meter. All right, back to a banger of an opening hand here. We keep on the draw. Opponent leads off with the Valgavoth's Faithful. We play land and pass. They crack him with the Faithful and play a Cynical Loner. We have the perfect answer in Innocuous Rat, which can block it. They play land 3 and pass. We have the chance to now deploy Derelict Attic just to draw 2. At the end of our turn, they flash in Nowhere to Run to kill the Innocuous Rat. Wah wah. We reveal land Final Vengeance and trade off our manifest with the Cynical Loner. They follow that up with a Dashing Bloodseeker, and we have the perfect turn here with a Fear of Lost Teeth to lead things off, Disturbing Mirth, sack the Teeth, ping the Valgavoth's Faithful, draw 2, play land, Final Vengeance, kill the 2/5, sack Disturbing Mirth, and manifest a 4/4 Resurrected Cultist into play. Clear their board. They play Glassworks to kill our 2/2, but that's just chilling in the graveyard for us. We'd play a Glimmerlight and a Sawblade Skin Ripper, use all of our mana and deploy threats. They play an Osseous Stick Twister, and we get to unlock Widow's Walk, turn this Skin Ripper into a 4/2 Menace Death Touch, sack the 1/1, and then get the Skin Ripper trigger on end step, which has Death Touch, which kills their Stick Twister, but they answer it with a Scorching Dragonfire, which we draw for turn, and we continue to build out our board with a Machete and a Glimmerlight. Machete reveals Clockwork Percussionist, and a Glimmerlight comes into play for us. Back over to our opponent. They do nothing. Glimmerlight, suit up our manifested creature, attack, they murder it, we flip up the monkey, reveal a land, play Cultist from the graveyard, continuing to build out our board, handful of removal, land number 5 for the opponent, but they don't unlock Shattered Yard, so the feelers are up here. We move the equipment around onto all of our creatures, Attack him with a 3/3 and a 6/2, and they flash in an Appendage Amalgam to trade off with the 6/2, get in for 3, play a Fear of Lost Teeth, and pass back over to the opponent. Opponent plays land number 6 and passes, we draw a land, move the Machete over to the Fear of Lost Teeth, attack in for 6. We expect them to have something again because they didn't unlock Shattered Yard. Yes, they have Withering Torment. For the 1/1, we get in for 3 with the Fear of Lost Teeth, move the Machete. They have a Machete of their own, but we have a number of removal spells, Scorching Dragonfire, answering it on their turn. We draw Egotist for turn, Kraken for 6, and Egotist comes down, able to finish them off by sacking the Fear of Lost Teeth, get the ping from both the Fear and the Egotist, and the opponent has seen enough. Alright, another good looking opening hand here. We keep on the draw, and after our opponent passes, we play Swamp Fear of Lost Teeth. Another land drop pass, we try and cast Rat. It doesn't make a sound, gets countered, and our opponent lands a Screaming Nemesis and attacks in for 3. Now, despite us having a ton of removal in the deck that doesn't deal damage, our only one in the hand is Scorching Dragonfire, and we choose to take out the Nemesis. They cast Ticket Booth, binning a Tunnel Surveyor, which leads me to believe that that's a better creature under there. We draw Withering Torment just the turn after, deck laughing at us. Not quite sure what I was thinking at this point, playing the Glimmerlight and a Terramorphic Expanse instead of just playing Land Drop and Conductive Machete, but I digress. A Ghostly Keybearer and an Ethereal Armor turns their manifested creature into a 2/2 with First Strike, which is a problem. We Withering Torment the Keybearer so they can't unlock the Ticket Booth, move the Glimmerlight, attack him with the Fear of Lost Teeth, and they land a Nico Light of Hope, increasing the power and toughness of their manifested creature to a 6/6. We chump, play Derelict Attic, looking for removal. We find a Ticket Booth and a Fear of Lost Teeth, deploy a Clockwork Percussionist and a Fear. They play Shattered Yard. The manifested creature is up to a 7/7 now, and we get pinged by the Shattered Yard end step, draw land with what we exiled with the monkey. We conduct a Machete, reveal 2 blanks, and not much we can do when they flip up a flyer and get in for 6 in the air. We take our second loss, and we are on the ropes. Alright, another great hand here for game number 5. Couple of land drops for me and my opponent, and on land 2 they hit a Cynical Loner. We of course have the perfect follow-up with Innocuous Rat. They have the perfect follow-up with Trapped in the Screen. Cynical Loner hits us and bins a Shroud Stomper. Derelict Attic, and it goes looking for land drops and answers, as we have none for the Loner currently, and sort of finds both. Cynical Loner hits us again and bins a 4/1. We draw Fear of Lost Teeth for the turn, go ahead and cycle Bedhead Beastie, finding our 4th land drop, play Fear of Lost Teeth, and pass. We finally have the opportunity to trade off with the Loner and ping them for 1, and they land a Glimmer Seeker. No more lands for us, so we Disturbing Mirth, sack the Derelict Attic, don't find lands, play Glimmerlight. Opponent cracks him with the Glimmer Seeker, they play a Saw. We draw Disturbing Mirth, sack Disturbing Mirth, looking for 2 spells in hand, 2 lands to be manifested. Nowhere to run, end step. Picks off our manifested creature, and we have to pitch a Glimmerlight down to hand size. Bashful Beastie is the play for our opponent, no lands for us. We Sporogenic Infection the 1/1, they sack the Beastie. We play a Fear of Lost Teeth and equip it with the Glimmerlight. Back over to our opponent, they play Spineseeker Centipede, and they go and search up a forest. They equip the Saw to the Glimmer, attack him with their 2 creatures, sack a land to draw. We trade off. When the dust settles, our Fear of Lost Teeth picks off the Spineseeker, and the battlefield is clear. Roller Crusher ride the draw. Conductive Machete reveals 2 lands. Are you kidding me? Swarm Weaver for our opponent, and they do get the 2 1/1s. They don't have Death Touch. We get to play a Skin Ripper, Final Vengeance, the Swarm Weaver, sack the Disturbing Mirth, 2 more lands again, because of course. Attack in with a 4/3, and the Skin Ripper gets a trigger on end step to pick off one of the insects. They attack in with the Saw, sacrifice Nowhere to Run, draw again, play Hardened Escort, and land number 5 is finally here, so we can play a Roller Crusher ride to clear the battlefield for our opponent and get in with all of our creatures. Down to 6 they go, and they play an Enduring Vitality, and drag to the roots our Skin Ripper, but we've got another removal spell in hand for their Vitality and get in for the last 6 points of damage. Alright, a pretty medium opener, but we do have the Beastie to find a red source, and our opponent leads with Mountain Percussionist. We start off with a Swamp, and then they play a Hand that feeds, starting off to a fast start, but we get to play Fear of Lost Teeth and Final Vengeance to pick off the Hand that feeds. Fear pings the Percussionist. See what they exile. It's a Most Valuable Slayer, so they won't be casting that on 3 mana. They play a Resurrected Cultist, and we respond in kind. Turn number 4, and our opponent lands an Infernal Phantom and passes. We play a Conductive Machete and reveal a Sawblade Skin Ripper underneath. Opponent plays a Fear of Lost Teeth. It triggers the Infernal Phantom. They get in for 4. We draw Disturbing Mirth for turn, play Fear of Lost Teeth, and pass with Withering Torment or flipping up the Skin Ripper end of turn. On our turn, we cast Disturbing Mirth, sack Fear of Lost Teeth, pick off the Cultist, and go ahead and attack in with our 4/1 Cultist. They elect to double block. We trade off with both. They target both death triggers on the Skin Ripper, and we sack Mirth in response to get the Skin Ripper's toughness up to 4, evading those 2 triggers and pinging our opponent for 2. They land with their own Skin Ripper, and we start off by attacking in for 6 points of menace damage. Land a Popular Egotist and pass. Opponent plays Boiler Bilge's Ripper with nothing to sacrifice and passes back to us. We flip up our rat. We land number 6, play Roller Crusher Ride, killing their creatures and sending in the team. Are you sensing a theme? Then we get a little cute. We can use Final Vengeance to sack the rat, get our triggers for Skin Ripper and Egotist, and win. Opponent is off it. Our first bad opener, we have to mulligan and get this banger one where we bottom a mountain and land Fear of Lost Teeth on 1. Followed up with an Innocuous Rat into our opponent's 1 land, and they play a Cheerleader. We land a 3rd land and a Popular Egotist and pass. They play a Glimmer Seeker and pass back to us. We play Disturbing Mirth, sack the rat. We reveal Fear of Lost Teeth, get a trigger from the Egotist. We will get another one off that Terramorphic Expanse as well. They play an Unsettling Twins and send in with an Acrobatic Cheerleader. We finish that off with a Fear of Lost Teeth, and there's our drain. Land number 5, and we play a Derelict Attic to draw into Clockwork Percussionist and a Mountain, and choose not to tap out of Egotist activation. They attack him with 2 creatures, we double block, and when they go to try and kill our Egotist with the Fear of Lost Teeth, we sacrifice the Disturbing Mirth to it, revealing a Sawblade Skin Ripper, and they play an Enduring Innocence. Land number 6 for us, we Withering Torment the Glimmer Seeker, cast a Fear of Lost Teeth, and send in with both the Egotist and the Manifested Creature. Sack the Fear of Lost Teeth, get an Egotist trigger, pick off the Innocence, and pass. Fear of the Dark is our opponent's play for turn, and we play Clockwork Percussionist and unlock Widow's Walk, and I should attack with Percussionist here. I missed 2 points of Death Touch damage. They play a Surgical Sweep, get back a Glimmer Seeker, and attack in for 5 points of Menace and Death Touch. They attempt to exercise our Widow's Walk, we sack it to the Egotist, and get a Drain trigger. Resurrected Cultist is a draw for turn, but we flip up a Skin Ripper. They choose not to block, we sack the Percussionist, we get in for 7, and then go ahead and sacrifice the Egotist for 1 more drain, and then the Skin Ripper trigger for 2 finishes them off. Alright, a pretty unexciting hand here, and after a couple of land drops, our opponent lands a Stalked Researcher. On turn 3, we play a Resurrected Cultist and pass back. They play land 3 and pass to us. We play Derelict Attic to try and hit land drops, which we do, and we crack in for 4 with the Cultist and play land number 4. They play Clammy Prowler and get in for 3 with the Stalked Researcher. We play a Conductive Machete, putting Clockwork Percussionist underneath it. We use Final Vengeance to pick off the Prowler, sacrificing the Attic, and get in for 4 with the Cultist. They play a Fear of Failed Tests and pass back to us. We wipe their board with Scorching Dragonfire and Withering Torment, get in for 8, and they're down to 4, hoping to make quick work of this game, but a split up has other things to say. We flip up the Clockwork Percussionist, exile a land, and they play a Slimy Aquarium and surveil 1 land to the bin. We play Ticket Booth, putting a Popular Egotist into play and getting back our Cultist. They steal our Popular Egotist, we crack in with the Cultist, and they chump block, and we play a Fear of Failed Tests, and we unlock Tunnel of Hate. Slimy Aquarium gives them a 3/3, and we draw Bedhead Beastie for turn. We equip and give Double Strike, but they seize from Slumber the Fear of Lost Teeth. They go to 3, and then we trade our 4/1 with their 3/3. Passing back to them, they play another Fear of Failed Tests, and we draw a second Menace creature, so Skin Ripper and Bedhead Beastie hit the battlefield and back to our opponent. They vanish from sight the Bedhead Beastie, we keep it on top, they attack in with Fear of Failed Tests, draw 2 cards, trapped in the screen our Skin Ripper, and all we can do on our turn is draw and play the Bedhead Beastie. Back to them, they enter the Enigma the Fear of Failed Tests, draw a card, crack in, draw 2 more cards, play a split up, killing our Beastie and passing to us. We Disturbing Mirth, sacrifice the room, draw into Innocuous Rat and Glimmer Light, move some equipment around, and pass. Our opponent plays a Fear of Falling, and we draw a land for turn, and we move our equipment again. Glimmer Burst draws them 2 more cards and puts a 1/1 Glimmer into play, trapped in the screen, takes out our Innocuous Rat, and they get in with the Fear of Failed Tests and the Fear of Falling, and we chump the failed tests to prevent them from drawing 2. Disturbing Mirth number 2, we sack the first Mirth, draw into land and Glimmer Light, 2 lands on top, and we are flooding like crazy. Glimmer Light number 2, move around some equipment, pass back to our opponent. Fear of Falling gets in 1 more time, 4 in the air, we're down to 2. and a scrabbling skull crab, and off the top rope, Roller Crusher Ride picks off all 4 creatures, and we're able to get in for the last points of damage. Alright, our final game here, opening hand, is a keep. After a couple lands, our opponent plays a friendly Teddy. We drop a Glimmerlight and pass. They crack in for 2 with the Teddy and land a Hardened Escort. On turn 3, we decide to pick off the Escort with a Withering Torment and crack in with our 1/1 Glimmer. On our opponent's turn, they play Grand Entry, get a 1/1 and Underwater Tunnel, and Surveil 2 to the top. Crack in for 2 with the Teddy, back to us. We equip Glimmerlight, play Sawblade Scrimripper, and tack in for 2 with the Glimmer token. Back to our opponent, they unlock Slimy Aquarium and get a 3/3 in play and attack in with Friendly Teddy. We're down to 12. On our turn, we draw and play Sporogenic Infection on their Glimmer. They sack Friendly Teddy. We each draw a card. Ours is Fear of Lost Teeth. We attack our 2/2 into their 3/3. They oblige, and after combat, we sack the Sporogenic Infection to grow the Skinripper, land Fear of Lost Teeth, and end step trigger ping down the 3/1. Trapped in the tunnel, or trapped in the screen rather, takes out our Skinripper. They attack and win with a 1/1, and back to us we play Conductive Machete, select an Innocuous Rat, equip the Glimmerlight, attack in for 2, and re-equip the Glimmerlight to the 3/3. They play Sheltered by Ghosts on our Innocuous Rat and a Surgical Suite to get back Hardened Escort and attack in for 2 points of lifelink. On our turn, we draw land number 7, which is crucial. We can play Roller Crusher Ride, pick off both creatures because we have Delirium and have enough to pay for the ward cost and get back our rat. They unlock Hospital Room and pass. We play Tunnel of Hate to get double strike, equip the Innocuous Rat, and get in for 5. Back to our opponent, they play a Fear of Immobility and lock down our Innocuous Rat. On our turn, we decide to move the Conductive Machete and offer the trade with the double striking Fear of Lost Teeth, ping them down to 10. Post-combat, we play a Popular Egotist and a Terramorphic Expanse and pass. Our opponent plays Unable to Scream on the Egotist. We sack the Expanse in response to get a trigger, and they play Meat Locker to lock down the Innocuous Rat. On our turn, our equipment move around, Machete and Glimmerlight onto our 3/4. It gets double strike. They're down to 2. Post-combat, we unlock the ticket booth, but it's enough, and we have got the 7 wins. All right, sweet. Not too shabby of a run there. Looked a little dicey when we made that misplay and we're 2-2, but rattled them off one by one. Deck played out like an absolute dream. The double Mirths, the double Addicts, kept the gas flowing. Roller Crusher Ride was awesome. Didn't end up missing the Waltz of Rage. I think that was a good call. Didn't end up needing to splash green and stretch the mana. Loved the deck. Hope you enjoyed this kind of video. If you do, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future, any constructive feedback you have about the style of video. Any of that stuff's great, and we'll see you next time for another Fast Friday video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content.